Praise the Lord. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I know y'all cooking it up, getting ready for Kansas City to win. In the meantime, we're gonna see what God got to say, especially about us winning.
Yeah. Amen.
Matthew chapter 13. I want to talk this morning about the kingdom of God. Kingdom is a Greek word, basileia, B-A-S-I-L-E-I-A, and it means royalty, rule, or a realm. That's what a kingdom is. So it's royalty, which we know God is royal, and He rules. We know God is the ruler of all. But why am I in so much trouble? Why is everything on? I don't know. And over again, throughout our lives, difficulties arise. And sometimes we look at God and blame God, since He is the ruler of all things. Why are you allowing this to happen? God said, yes, I'm the ruler of all things, but I don't choose everything you choose to do. Said, I gave you the rule of your soul, of your emotions, of your decisions that you make. Very rarely do catastrophic things happen to us. Once in a while, we can blame circumstances. But for the most part, our lives are made up by the decisions that we make. We are where we are because of how we chose to live our lives. You had no say-so in who your mother was, who your daddy, where you grew up. But then you started to grow up and you started to have a little say-so in what you would or would not do. Most of us, our parents tried to lead us right. I bet my life, if me and you had done everything our moms and dad told us to, we wouldn't be in the position we in now. But we get hard-headed. We get teenage-itis. You know what teenage-itis is? I know. But since you know so much, pay the bills. Pay the rent. Buy the food. Since you know so much. So they know so much. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm out of here. And so we leave. We go. And we start singing that, maybe mama was right. Maybe I should have listened. And find ourselves in situations where we were told, don't hang out with that boy. Don't hang out with Scary Mary, Harry Larry. Leave them alone. Don't go over there with them boys. Go to school. Do your homework. Clean up your room. Take a bath. Get those stinking tennis shoes out of here. All those things parents try to teach us that we refuse to listen to. And we chose to be grown and on our mama, daddy, didn't know too much about God to understand obedience is better than sacrifice. So after the teenage years and lifestyle starts to set in, and we see that we're not accomplishing the things we dreamed of or thought of, and we start looking for some help. And sometimes nobody has the answer. Mama, daddy, brother, sister. And we get to a place where we've exhausted all means.
Yeah.
And we come to the end of ourselves. And we come to God. And we look for God to help us and answer the questions of life that has been blinding us or keeping us from seeing which direction to go. Matthew 13:44, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Father, we thank you for your mercy, Jesus. Speak with clarity. Open our ears, our minds. Give us understanding, God, that we may know exactly what you are saying to us corporately, but also, Father, give us as individuals a word, a rhema word that will illuminate where there is no doubt we see and understand what you are telling us to do. And we'll give you all the glory, honor, and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. All in for the kingdom. When I was on the streets doing my thing, using drugs, stealing, robbing, I was all in. That's the lifestyle I chose to live, and I wasn't trying to live no other way. In spite of all that my mom and dad tried to tell me and the example that they set for me to live, especially my dad. I tell you guys all the time, he was some kind of guy. Didn't smoke, didn't drink, never heard him cuss, loved my mother to death, went to work every day, worked 38 years at Chrysler, from the time he was 18 till he was 58, 56, 56, I know 38 years. Same job, only missed 10 days in 38 years. Set an example of a man who loved his family, and in his last years of his life, he gave his life to the Lord. And I would say maybe about the last 10 years, because he could get up, read the Bible, sit at the table, start going to church, and gave his life to Christ. So I know he's in heaven. But before he began his spiritual journey, his earthly journey and duties, he was one who was all in. for my mother, no matter how she hollered and screamed, for us as kids, always looking out for us, making sure we had the things that we need, always giving us real good advice, and showing us a way to live, to stay out of trouble, not go to jail, or anything. I don't ever remember. Daddy ain't never, he never go to jail. You know, he never go to parking ticket, nothing, never. He just didn't live that, didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't cuss, didn't put his hands on my mama when we wanted her to. Get it, Daddy, yeah, this is my mama's house. Yeah. He was some kind of dude. So the model that he set before us as a man was an example that if we had to follow, we would have been all right. We'd end up working one job for life, doing things. He always bought him a new car. Every 3 years he had a new car, and so he lived his life how he wanted to. Good dude. He was all in for his family, his job, the lifestyle. Here we read how the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. And it's like us. We looking for the treasures of life. We're looking for those things that life offers and bring joy and happiness. But some of them we haven't found yet. They're hidden. And if you're looking for the things of God, you got to look to God to get the treasures that God has. We all got gifts and talents that will bring you so much. It'll take you so far, and then you go plateau. You reach that, and that's it. And some of us, we begin to decrease because we get old, we get sick, feet hurt, back hurt, head hurt, can't do much. And so we be in a position where we really need help. And so when we start getting of age and reaching an age where we need some help, we really need God, because a lot of people at that time don't want to be bothered with you because you're too much trouble.
Yeah.
Can I hear the church? And for us who go off track in this life, looking for treasures and end up searching the world for the treasures that it offers. That's why they have all these commercials offering things to me and you from the world. These billboards with the most beautiful woman you ever seen with a Coke 45 saying, come get this drink, get a Coke 45, you'll get me. You ain't gonna get her with no Coke 45. Can I hear you say, amen? But them subliminal messages that they send out to me and you to get me and you to think, man, if I get that, I'll get this. And that's gonna be the treasure that you've been looking for, because you've been wanting somebody special all your life, looking for that special one, but always looking in the wrong place.
Yeah.
We at the club. Yeah. What is it we doing? What is it now? What smoking weed? What is it?
Loud.
Loud. We get loud. Look at that person next to you and say, "Are you loud?" Yeah, that's yeah. You smoke your own loud, amen. How the different generations, the terminologies change so much in describing the things that they do and we do. With us, it was just smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? You can buy a deuce bag, you can buy a $2 bag, a $5 bag, you can buy a 4-ounce four finger, $20, you know. But now, the last I heard, man, it costs you $20 to get a joint. The things that we look for and search for, trying to find happiness, and end up messed up. So many of us, because we wouldn't listen. Now we enter into a phase of life where we understand there is something greater, and that something is Jesus Christ, and what he offers to us is more and better for us than what we could find in all the earth. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. God's kingdom is royalty, rule, or realm. A realm, like we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. God's realm is all of creation. So he rules all of creation. But in order to get the things that are hidden, you got to follow his rules. It is so hard for us to do what we told. Lives at stake, kids at stake, freedom at stake. What God has for you is at stake. Yet and still, our emotions, our thoughts, or what we're looking at can grab a hold of our thinking and pull us in its direction. If you're not all in, you're going to be all out shortly. All in is a way of becoming in something or of influencing someone. To enter all of your poker chips on one hand. You know about that one. To be totally committed to something. If we gonna do it, let's do it. I'm all in. Are you all in this morning?
Amen.
Come on, give the Lord a hand clap of praise. Living in the world and outside the world, we had to be all in for the world's way of doing things. Especially growing up, however you grew up, what influenced you, who influenced you, those you hung out with, and what kind of influence they had on you, and what kind of influence you had on them. And usually it was similar. Y'all kind of influenced each other. That's why y'all hung out together. Had the same values, same doing the same thing. Like cats and dogs don't hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like usually dogs hang out with dogs and cats hang out with cats. So normally if we was hanging out with somebody, they was doing the same thing we was doing. And the only time we went around somebody who wasn't doing what we was doing because we trying to get something from them. But we was all in for how we was living and didn't care too much about consequences or what people said or done, what they told us. And it's not like the things that we were doing, we didn't know that they were wrong.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes it's common sense, and sometimes it's because of how you grew up and what was taught to you as you grew up. Many of us were taught well. We had good upbringing, good family, good moral character established in the house, the way things were done. We just didn't like that and wanted to do our own thing. Took our lessons and done our own thing. And we was all in so much till, we got tired of mom and daddy telling us what to do, and again, took off. You don't have to tell me what to do, and that still happens today. We don't want nobody telling us what to do in the church, in the home, on your job. You don't like your boss. And he getting paid. That's why you gotta learn how to deal with people whose personality is different from yours. All of us are different. Some people are driven, and how they drive themselves, they'll drive you. But if you're with somebody who's not driven, who's not all in the way you are, it's going to be a clash. It's going to be a clash. So what do? You accept how this person is, or you argue and fuss and fight to try to get them to be the way you want them to be. Now, if it's on the job, you got to do it the way the boss say do it, the way it's described. That's it. Now, the way he communicates it to you, now y'all can discuss that. Look, okay, hey, I do my job, but you ain't gonna talk to me like I ain't nobody. And so people will quit a job because of how some people talk to them. That is the one thing I know that will get most people teed off, is to be talked to like they some kid. That is a quick way of starting an argument, especially if you're married. We gonna go there. Because women, they can go there with their mouth. That's their defense. See, they look at us and see, you want to, but they know how to talk to me and you and make me and you feel like that. Hurt you like nobody can. Somebody's in the streets, y'all be fighting. But because see your wife, you gotta swallow that one. Look, honey, I do anything you want to. Please, this. Not that. RESPECT. Amen. Just a little respect. So, here Jesus is describing how the kingdom of God operates And what you're going to have to do to get what God has for you, He's explaining it here. It's hidden. So it's going to take work.
Yeah.
Right.
We all know Kobe Bryant died. Tragic. I'm looking at it, just 41 years old. It's so hard to believe him, his daughter, and everybody else. But they got a saying that he said, it called him the Black Mamba. And how that's, if you read up, that snake's one of the most poisonous snakes in existence. But it has a certain way that it does things that helps it to be successful. It was driven. And Kobe was driven. It was a mindset.
Yeah.
He was so determined to be successful and be good. He'd be in the gym with nobody in there and no ball, just working on his footwork. They'd get off the plane, going on a road trip, and he'd go to the gym and work out. The effort that he put in to be successful was top shelf. Everybody in the NBA, and there's 16 people on the team. So it's not that many people who have the skill level to even make the team. Let alone to be great in a field where people are naturally gifted and great.
Yeah.
But he was willing to put in the work. Whatever it took for him to be the best, he was willing to do. It was an inner drive that he had inside of himself that he wouldn't settle for less. And sometimes the least little thing that get in our way, we're so easy to quit, to dismiss it, not work to try to find the answer or to get over it. We will allow it to stop us from getting the treasure that is hidden. See, what Kobe was looking for was hidden. It was a treasure that would lift him up above everybody else. What God has in His kingdom is a treasure, but it's hidden. But when you find it, it'll elevate you. It'll take you higher than you can go on your own.
Amen.
But you got to put in the work. I'm tired of looking. I'm tired of digging. I'm tired of going through all that. It's raining out there. The circumstances or whatever it is that's trying to get you to stop is on you. And it will never change. Success will never come to a lazy person. Staying clean will never come to a lazy person. Can I hear the clean one say, praise God. Not to get high, it's going to take everything that God got, that He's given to you, for you to say no to that monster, that demon of alcoholism, drug addiction, whatever it is, pornography, whatever that's got you hooked on this side. And people think just because they give their life to Jesus that everything is going to be all right. Somebody lied to you. Somebody lied to you. What it'll do, it'll give you help. It'll give you strength.
Yes.
It'll give you direction so you won't quit. 1 Kings 19:21 says, so Elijah left him and went back. He took his yoke of oxen and slaughtered them. He burned the plowing equipment to cook the meat and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he set out to follow Elijah and became his attendant. Here's Elisha. And to have 12 yoke of oxen at that time and in that day, he had it going on. He was doing well. But when the call of God came to him, he had to make a decision. Just like the rich young ruler. Same thing. Yeah, what does it take for me to enter the kingdom of heaven? He said, sell all this stuff. That's my stuff. And give us my stuff. That's my clothes. Lord, whatever God you want here. For life. Because see, you don't know what's all in the field.
All right.
You don't know what's all in the kingdom that God has for you. Tony mentioned in picking up the offering, give and it shall be given back to you. Whatever it is that you give, it. So he said, if you want a little, give a little. If you want a lot, give a lot. Well, how can I get a lot when I only make $12 an hour? Lord God can supernaturally impose himself upon your boss, give you and make him see you differently, and give you another job and give you a raise. He can stretch your money so far, and that little 20 you got, he can make it go the whole week. You know? That's what God can do. But we don't see that in the giving, how it's going to come back to us. So we hold on to what we got and end up losing that. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for pastor, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. I can't reward you, especially with what you want. I ain't got it to give you. You know, I give you a few dollars here and there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got. I ain't got nothing. So that's why when you work, you say, I'm doing this unto the Lord. That's why when I was in the home, I worked. Whatever they send me out to do, them pancake tickets, boy, I was, hey. They tell you, I talk right, I sell tickets. Boy, I was, every day I made over $100 selling tickets. Every day, God bless you, I'm from Victory Outreach, and we're having a pancake breakfast. The tickets are $5, and what we do with the money, we have Christian recovery homes. In our homes, we have men and women who have drug and alcohol problems, some coming out of prison, and we're not funded by the government. So we ask people to help us by buying a ticket, or maybe you can buy a bundle, and that helps us to facilitate the homes that we're offering. Would you buy a few or make a donation? I still know how to do it. See, in the beginning, fear wouldn't let me do it. I was afraid to go to everybody. anybody. So I would only go to black people because I'm thinking black people, I know they're going to buy, but they wouldn't buy nothing. God said, you're going to be out here all day just going to what you're comfortable with. So I said, hey, I got to switch up. Now, I started going to everybody. Now, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I got comfortable talking to anybody, especially preaching Jesus, because that was the key. It wasn't my color. It wasn't my ethnicity. It wasn't their culture. It was Jesus. The Bible says if I lift him up, he'll draw all men unto him. So as I started lifting up the name of Jesus, people started buying tickets. So I said, yeah, that's the key to it. So I went to everybody. I was on Ashland and Milwaukee, and where they all come together, right? Division and right there, and I got the rolling selling tickets, and it got me past my fear of talking to people. And I used to stutter. I mean, real bad. Real bad. I stuttered, and God got me through it. But it took work. 3 things, right quick. I got 15 minutes. All in for the kingdom shows we value what God has done for us today. The Bible says the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought the field. When he first found the treasure, he was so excited about what he had found. When I first came to God through Victory Outreach Times, I was so glad. It was like a weight. Man, I ain't got to worry about the police. I can get out of this basement, sleeping in the dope house, answering the door, scared to death somebody can come in and kill us all. A weight was lifted up off of me. Now I'm going to get off this stuff finally. But once I got there, I said, what is this ain't no drug rehab. This is a Christian program. I said, I didn't sign up for Christ. What are you talking about? The Christian program. I didn't sign up for that. But they said, yeah, but that's what it is. I said, oh my God. So immediately, the thought of getting some help and getting my life together brought me a whole lot of joy. But once I found out what it was I had to go through in order to get it, the joy quickly turned into a frown. That smile turned upside down. It was just a frown. So now I'm frowning, and I had to go through all of this that I had to go through that I didn't anticipate. See, but looking for a treasure, and I'm not seeing that then because I wasn't that spiritual to be able to read. It's going to take work. All treasure is hidden. They hid it for a reason. That you're going to have to put forth some work to get it. Salvation is free the minute you call on Jesus. But all of the gifts and the things that God got for you, you're going to have to dig deeper in His Word. You're going to have to pray. You're going to have to be all in. You're going to have to cut the TV off. You're going to have to spend time with God to really get all the treasures. Because He did that. Then He went and buried that little one and sold everything he had and came back and bought the whole field. That's right. He said, man, if I found this, I can't imagine what else might be in here. So once the light bulb came on and God started giving me joy, I started getting past the pain of being told what to do, because I hated people telling me what to do, especially in the morning. Don't wake me up. God, cut that light out. It's time to get up. Time to reach to sing some of that song. Father Abraham, and the sing Father Abraham, and clapping on the line. I'm mad and everything. I used to wake up mad. And so I was tired of waking up mad. So God said, well, get up and do what they tell you to do. So you won't So I got up before they came to cut the light on.
That's the key right there.
I fooled myself. Get up. So I made myself get up before they came to light on. Changed my whole day.
That's right.
That was one of the treasures that I found on how to have peace. How to wake up in a good mood. Come on, give the Lord a hand. So these things you gotta search for and dig for in order to have the treasure that you're looking for. And I'm so grateful today. He was happy that day. Soon as he found it, he went and hid it. 1 Corinthians 1:26 and 27 says, brothers, think of what you were when you were called. Not many of you were wise by human standards. Not many were influential. Not many were of noble birth. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong.
That's right.
God said, look at what you was doing when I called you. You was living in the basement, sleeping on the couch, answering the door at the dope house. Now look at you. He said, you better shut up all that wine.
Come on.
Look at what I done. So often we miss where we were after we start moving a little further and getting up and then seeing how much more work it takes to get the treasures that you desire for your life. This is for the rest of your life.
Yes, it is.
But I am so grateful now that I'm saved and clean, that I ain't got to smoke crack, do heroin, I ain't got to do none of that. I'm so grateful for today. Even though, my struggles are harder, God is increasing my faith through the things that I got to, but I'm still way better off than I was when I first came to God. But sometimes we don't see that. We're just looking at how hard it is now. You don't remember how hard it was before you got here. This hard is a hard to bring some good. The hard in the world was a hard to kill me and you. We don't see that. Be grateful for today. Deuteronomy 30:15 and 16 says, see, I set before you today life and prosperity, death and destruction. For I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commands, decrees, and laws. Then you will live and increase. And the Lord your God will bless you in the land you are entering to possess. See, you are entering into a new life, a whole new way of living. And God says, I'm setting before you life and prosperity, death and destruction. He says, I command you today. We're talking about today, to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, decrees, and laws. Then you will live and increase. And increase, not A-N, A-N-D, increase. You will live and increase. You will grow in every area of your life, in wisdom, and knowledge, and stature, and things that you like. Cars, houses, a wife, a husband, only one. No, you don't want that. But God said, then you will grow. But be grateful today for where I got you. But you entering into a whole new realm of living that you don't even know what's ahead, because it's hidden from you. But be grateful for today. Can I hear you say amen? Can you hold a hand clap praise? Number 2. All in for the kingdom doesn't see what he's given up as more important than what he's given. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Sometimes we focus on what we can't do in God than what we can do. And so because we can't do certain things, God said, no, that won't glorify me. We get mad. And there's things that you can't do in all parts of life. But you can't always do what you want to do.
That's right. That's right.
When are we going to grow? When are we going to accept the fact that sometimes God says no? And he puts it on people. But it's so hard for us to accept no. We'll go all out of the way. You know, when they tell us no in the street, we know how to make it happen. And so, but it ain't that way in the kingdom. You can't make it happen. When God say no, no means no. That's all it is. But we can't accept that. We think, oh, they just doing that because they got the power. They just doing that because they don't like me. Yeah, they in authority so they can treat me any old kind of way. No. It's God saying no to you, and you looking at it like that because that's how you always looked at it when you couldn't get what you want. And so until we change our perception of God, he's not the God of yes. You can have whatever you want whenever you want it. You couldn't have that when you was with your mom and daddy. They told you no. So you don't think God don't tell you no? Especially when it's something that's going to hurt you or get you out of his will. So all in for the kingdom doesn't see what he's giving up is more important than what he's getting. You giving up killing yourself. Smoking crack, doing drugs, running the streets, dodging bullets, any kind and every kind of disease that come out. They got this thing in China now that's making its way in, this flu. Y'all better watch it, boy. It's killing people. Right. But God, you're protected. Because you're hidden in Christ. The blood of Jesus has protected you and is protecting you. Because you in him. Outside of him, you on your own. You don't have that protection, but we don't see that. We always look at that, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. We can't watch TV. Yeah, you can watch the Super Bowl. You watch the Super Bowl, you watch the sports, but that ain't what's most important. What's most important now is getting your life together. Nothing should be more important than you advancing in your life, making the most out of what little bit of life you got left. Some of us ain't got much life left. Y'all went to James' funeral. Just thank God that he was saved. Because the diabetes and his weight, he was going to die anyway. But God kept him. He's been to penitentiary 7 times. 7 times. So he told Rod, I don't want to go to reentry. There's too much freedom. I want to stay here at the home and go to work because I'm not at the place where I can trust myself. But not many do that.
That's right.
Everybody now soon look at it. Most of them trying to get out the home early. Now, Pastor, get out. I heard the home was 9 to 12 months. Is that true? They trying to get out now. Yeah, I got 8 months. I heard the home was 9 to 12 months. Is that true? Everybody want a shortcut. Jesus said, it is finished. Everything he did, he finished. When the last thing you finished? What you are giving up can't compare to what God has for you and what he gonna give you. Philippians 3:7 and 8 says, but whatever was to my profit, I now consider loss for the sake of Christ.
Hallelujah.
What is more, I consider everything a loss compared to the surpassing greatness of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whose sake I have lost all things. I consider them rubbish that I might gain Christ. You say, all this stuff I got means nothing. All the stuff I got means nothing. When I die, I'm going to have a yard sale. Because everybody too small for my suits. So just have a yard sale, you know. And they can have it. She said they can have it. I ain't got nothing but some clothes. A few rings. That's all. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. We gave up our whole lives. We had more in Atlanta than we did. Everything here that we got, it belongs to God and Victory Outreach. So we ain't got nothing. We ain't got no money in the bank. I'm old enough where I can get Social Security. Hey man, I'm old enough to get a free check. Free. But what I gave up can't compare to what I got. What you giving up can't compare to what God gonna give you. Third and final thing. All in for the kingdom puts a greater value on future return than on immediate satisfaction. We all look for immediate gratification. It's my money and I want it now. Y'all seen the commercial? Everything we want right now. We don't want to wait to do nothing. I was so proud and Shanina going back to school. She's working, taking care of her kids. How difficult that is. But the work that she's doing. Jessica going back to school. I mean, and she got 4 little ones. You know, totally don't have it. But the effort that she has to put in order to get future results. What future we got, and some of us in our 50s and 60s, we ain't got much time left. Maybe, he said, 70. Might live to get 70. Maybe. But anything other than that, that's a gift. That's all he promised us, 70. So if you make it past 70, you better count every breath you got. You better make it count. And the time, come on, give the Lord a hand clap of praise. Ecclesiastes 11:1 and 2 in the New Century Version says, invest what you have, because after a while you will get a return. Invest what you have in several different businesses, because you do not know what disasters might happen. They say, get different places, give. This is give. Because you don't know what's going to happen and who you're going to meet. And you're limiting yourself to just one thing. All in for the kingdom puts a greater value on future returns than on immediate satisfaction. Immediate satisfaction, you need my money now. It's my money, I want it now, I want to spend it now. So as you get it, it's spent up before you got your check.
Speak on that.
When you get your check, you can hold it all out there. And folks coming looking for you. Hey, you see so-and-so? Hey, where's they're looking for you now? Proverbs 27:18, as the worship team comes up, in the Message translation say, if you care for your orchard, you'll enjoy its fruit. If you honor your boss, you'll be honored. Oh, if you care for your orchard, you'll enjoy its fruit. If you honor the pastor, you'll be honored. Come on, get a little on the head. If you take care of that which takes care of you. Well, we We hear that old saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Amen. But you biting your wife, chopping her head off, screaming, holler at her, and she cooking your food.
Come on.
Watch out, Alvarine. Hot grits. I give my life to God, to the kingdom, and to his rule. This is the way he operates. I've accepted that. If I'm going to be a part of the kingdom, then I got to abide by kingdom rules. That's in any institution. Anything that you get in, there's rules. If you go to school, there's rules. You got to study, you got to do your homework. It's simple. But we always want the easy way out. And never willing to put forth the effort necessary to finish and be successful. As we stand to our feet. Maybe you're here this morning and you've been asking God to help you to fight off the temptation and the depression, the discouragement, or the eagerness to get things going. Maybe you're here and your impatience is making you trying to rush God to give you something that it ain't your time to have. In God's time, let him do what he wants to do for you in his time. As the worship team leads us in a song,